Now. All right. Thank you, Corvine. Let's go ahead and offer some closure to that session of yours, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and pick up right where we left off then. So, you were in the docks when a particular image was recalled to your memory.
Yes. And I went to the image.
I'm just scrolling up through
Oh.
Fate of Foenum until I get to said image. So the recording has it for context.
I remember the image.
I know, I'm just doing it in a sense for the record.
Okay.
There it is, okay. There's the pretty image. There. Now I'm satisfied. Alright.
Are you reposting it?
Do you need me to repost it?
I don't, but if
Okay.
you really want to go through all the effort to find it, you might as
Well,
well.
I scrolled back and found it, so we can just press on.
Okay.
And yes, you were looking for, because you're at this point you're well aware that these places seem to be underground, and you were attempting to find a means of doing so.
Yes. I believe I found a warehouse of some sort. And that's where it ended.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick up. We'll go ahead and pick up from there. So,
Corvine and Tide.
well, Tide had actually split off. He had gone to the market to ask some
Oh.
friends for information,
Okay. That's
and
right.
and then he
And
proposed the
for
idea of,
potentially help.
yes, and he proposed the idea to you to search between Gray Sky and the docks to see if maybe there's something you could find.
Okay.
So it is currently just Corvine all by her lonesome, as always.
That's all. For a long time at least.
Indeed. So yes, you found. Actually, it's an old warehouse. It may be used from time to time, but it's essentially it's at the end of its usefulness. If it's used for anything anymore, it's used sparingly. Maybe it's taken care of once every few years, but if it's not abandoned, it will be very soon. So it's not dilapidated and falling down, but it's not exactly, shall we say, something you'd want to show off to visitors.
I swing the doors open, prepared for combat.
Roll for it. No, I'm just kidding. You throw the doors open to, well, an empty warehouse. You see a few crates here and there, some items lying discarded on the floor, hither and thither. It appears to be, well, relatively straightforward. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot here. The inside of it is a large open area, and towards the back and in the corner you see what appears to be, well, an office, usually for processing or whatever else have you in inventory. But beyond that, the space is just large and open, designed to hold large objects.
Hmm. I suppose this would be the time I should investigate.
Indeed. And since investigation is in relation to a specific place or object, what things are you investigating?
Hmm. Sorry, I kind of spaced out. What particular layout is the room?
So this warehouse is more or less a long rectangle that's about 2 stories high, and there's a main set of double doors where you are that leads towards the docks. The back side of it, which leads more towards the street, has a smaller door there, and to the one side is a small office. In addition to all this, in the warehouse itself are a few large crates here and there. There's a couple in a corner near you. You see a couple of
I'll
barrels lying.
investigate the crates and barrels to see if there's any entrances underneath them.
All right. There's also some scattered refuse lying around. Messy workers. Give me
Give you what?
an investigation for the barrels and for the crates.
one for both or two?
One for each. These dice, man.
It's not even just the dice. I'm not good
Um,
at investigating.
this is a fair point.
I'm better at actually seeing things. Oh, if only perception were useful.
Um, mm, I mean, if there's anything around here, you don't find any signs of it. But also, these crates and barrels are pretty heavy, and you're not quite able to move them yourself. Although, make a strength check. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky.
I'm gonna give up that for now and head to the office.
Fair enough. You walk in, and the office is fairly simple and straightforward. It's got a desk, some writing implements, and there's a few papers here and there. There's a small book off to the side.
And none of this was locked, and there's no one here.
Apparently not.
Yeah, no, that's not suspicious. So, I'm gonna look at the papers, I guess.
Most of the papers appear to be ledgers indicating shipments, what came from what, where it's going, how long it's remaining in storage, so on and so forth. All pretty straight utilitarian stuff. The book itself appears to be a payroll, indicating the names of various employees, how much they got paid, so on and so forth. Give me. I'll throw you down. Give me an insight or perception check.
I'll give it an insight. That feels useful here.
All right. So, you notice that towards the back of the book, the writing is a little sloppy. And apparently, it's someone else who's been doing it. And you notice a few numbers appear to be changed, fudged, smudged, whatever else have you. And even with the papers themselves, you begin to notice a couple of discrepancies up to the point where you realize that it's not really specified what's in this warehouse right now, nor is it really clear how long it's going to be here. In fact, it doesn't even detail how many items are in this warehouse currently.
I'm gonna go and open a barrel.
All right. You open the barrel, and this one appears to be full of foodstuffs that have
Well,
long since gone rotten.
hold on. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna look at which ones are suspicious, and then open one of those barrels.
The suspicion falls upon the crates.
Oh, I'm gonna open one of those crates.
Specifically, crate number 3, by the looks of it. That one has the most fudging involved around it.
Okay.
And as you pop open crate number 3, you discover, perhaps to your surprise, it's empty. And not only is it empty, it doesn't actually have a bottom. In fact, it appears that the crate has been affixed to the floor, and where the bottom should be, there's a staircase going down.
Oh. She's gonna look relieved and start walking down.
Okay. You make your way down. You make your way down, and it's fairly dark.
Hold on. Hold on. I may not be trained in it, but I'm not dumb. I'm gonna start stealthing.
Fair enough. Well, okay then. It is. It is pretty. It's pretty dark down there. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of illumination. So you're.
What do my dark vision eyes see?
Oh right, you have dark vision. Never mind. I forget these things. You see it. It's a simple staircase that heads down to a door, which door is slightly ajar. And beyond the door, you see a hallway or corridor, if you want to be pedantic, made of at this point a very very familiar style of stonework.
Yeah. I mean, this is expected though, so I
Hmm.
press on.
Well, it's a fairly narrow passage, and at the end of it is yet another door leading into, well, you can probably guess where this door is going to lead.
Okay, then I'll slide it open.
And when you slide it open and look inside, you see a chamber you've seen far too many times before, with two pillars, a giant hole in the floor, and no one.
And no one.
It is completely empty.
Okay. Hold on. First things first. I'm gonna try to listen for any noises at all.
It's silent, save for a few ambient noises that are coming from the docks that are drifting their way down here.
Okay. Then I'm gonna walk in and nothing happens.
No, it is an empty chamber.
I'll investigate the hole. And I did perfectly.
um, the hall you came from, or just the general area?
The hole.
Oh, the hole. Sorry, I misheard you. Well, the hall is rather unsuspicious. You just came down it. There doesn't appear to be any traps.
The hole.
I know. I'm just
Okay.
flavoring your one.
Okay.
Although investigating that hole might also be a good idea.
Oh, good.
Night. Wow. Why? Okay. I mean, this hole is at this point. I suspect seeing these holes is probably pretty traumatic. So it's extremely difficult to get near it, especially since you're by yourself. Now, granted, I can't put thoughts and feelings into your character's head, but
I'm gonna jump in it.
you're just gonna jump in there.
Yes.
All right, give me a wisdom save, real quick.
Okay. Let's see. What is my? It's also perfect. No problems with it at all.
I appreciate the fact that you've been climbing the ladder slowly. Just the wrong end of the ladder. All right, you jump into the dark pit, and you land at the bottom, and there's nothing in this pit. Although for a moment, you swear you saw something. A giant mouth with a hungry set of fangs seem almost to welcome you fall down to the bottom of the pit, but it vanishes swiftly. And,
Well, you did say I was paranoid, so I'm gonna throw an attack out.
fair enough. You strike the floor, and there's a dull tink of your weapon as it hits the rough stone.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and perceive my surroundings.
All right. Are you investigating the hole specifically, or are you investigating?
This isn't investigating. This is perception.
Yeah, no. I mean, are you perceiving the hole itself, or are you perceiving the hole and the immediate area around it?
I mean, I'm seeing whatever I can see at the bottom of the hole without moving.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, thank you. Uh, Now that you're in one of these holes and there isn't something in it, it appears the whole thing is extraordinarily rough stone. Almost like it's. You can't tell if it's naturally this harsh looking or if it's been carved to be this way. It may well be both. But one thing is for sure, the floor is jagged and rough and sharp, as are the walls, and they slowly slope downwards and into the center. It's not super sharp. It's not like you're standing in a funnel. It's just a slight,
It's a rough surface.
extraordinarily so, sufficient that if you were to fall on it, you would probably suffer several injuries.
Hmm.
And the wall itself looks to be climbable, but at the same time, designs to. Yeah, I'll go and give it to you. The walls look like they're climbable, but something inside you tells you that they're not.
Okay. It's a good thing I don't need to climb out.
And by that certain something, I mean more of like your gut instinct versus like some sort of mystical, whatever have
Yeah.
you.
It's mystical predator mage. Anyway.
Kin.
King. So, And there's nothing else down here.
Not by the looks of it.
I'm gonna fly out.
Well, you've flown out without much issue. It is worth noting that the circle from before is still there. It's just not doing anything right now. The whole place seems silent and inert.
I do another perception from up above.
All right, you looking about the chamber. Well, it's an ancient chamber to be sure, but it's also been taken care of. It's clean. It's been gussied up. You can tell that someone has taken the effort to make it. My computer's not idle. Someone's taken the effort to make it usable.
Okay.
But beyond
That's it.
that, and of course, there's the entrance you came in at.
Yeah.
That said, you don't see any particular signs of like recent use.
Then I'm gonna fly to the circle and I'm gonna start rubbing it away.
The circle appears to be engraven into the very surface of the thing itself.
Let me see what I have for that. I'm gonna take my chains and start trying to rub it away
All right.
with the chains to try to scrape it away.
Are you going to take your time or are you in a hurry?
Hmm. Hurry.
All right. Let's see. You're defacing something, so I would say this might be an athletics check. Although you, although you can make a case for other skills if you can think of how they would be useful.
Nah, that sounds about right.
I suppose an argument might be made for acrobatics to be more precise in your strikes to.
Sure, if you're gonna give it to me.
Well, you know, I'm a nice DM like that.
Ah,
It takes a fair bit of work, and there's some decent damage done to your chains. You might want to get those fixed. But you do destroy a part of the circle. Not a very large section, mind you, but You do destroy a small section of it, and you're fairly tired as a result. Takes a lot of effort. Well, you are an eighth level fighter, so okay, you're not that exhausted. I mean, you're a little winded because it took a lot of effort, but
So now I'm just going, since that didn't work or do anything, I'm going to start investigating the walls.
all right. The give me 3 checks. I honestly would appreciate that we have 14, 15, 16, 17. But anyways, uh, searching through the wall, searching around, you don't really find much. It appears there's only really one entrance in and out of this particular one, and that's the entrance you came in.
Okay, so I looked
Oh,
in and I
wait,
can't
I
find them.
lied. There's one thing that you find. Um. Oh, please let this open in the right window. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be safe. Okay, well. Whew. Okay. Okay. Good. Because I opened a file that is covered in massive spoilers. All right. You do find one thing, and it appears to be. It appears to be written in that horrible, horrible text that Sae can read. That was written. That the book was of Happy was written in. And you find it near one of the pillars that are holding this place up. If I recall correctly, you are not versed in Blood Hunt, correct?
No.
Okay.
At
Um,
best, I know how to pronounce it, but not understand it.
I will, however, give you
So
this.
I probably have forgotten.
Give me a history check.
Should I give it with advantage
Do you want to
for
use?
predator stuff?
Do you? Oh yeah, this would be related. So yes.
Okay. I think this is how you do it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah, it should be 19.
All right, sure enough, it
I
didn't.
didn't write it correctly.
Oh, it's yeah, because it's K1 then +4, I believe.
Ah, yes. So I did it wrong. But still, 19.
Right. You can't make out all of the writing, but one piece of writing you recognize because you've seen this sort of writing before, and you recognize the word for wolf. And wolf you recognize as a predator that is. I should have opened this one as well. Here we are.
Considered the most noble and savage of them all. Oh.
Quote, the most fearless of our masters. The wolf is fast, the wolf is clever, the wolf is never alone.
Ah. And yes, that would be something I'd recognize because I was part of the book thing.
Also, you've in your researching predator ruins and whatnot, you would have undoubtedly have come across wolves and what they are before.
Yes. She's. Can I make an intelligence check?
Sure. What you looking for?
I'm trying to memorize the exact symbols, all of them.
All right. You wouldn't happen to have a soap and piece of paper on you, would you?
Soap?
I'm just being silly. Essentially, something to rub it
Uh,
with.
Actually, I do have soap and a piece of paper,
Well, we made
I
that.
think. Do I have paper? Is paper something you can just buy?
Yeah, I mean, paper's pretty ancient, so.
Well, what I mean is it actually an item?
Oh,
By me
yeah.
in the list.
I think paper
I'm
is.
not sure because I don't have it on my list. But I have my scroll of pedigree, and that's all it's useful for, right?
I mean, you could use your scroll on a pinch. Just use the backside of it or something.
Mm. Is that really something you want to? Oh well, I. Oh wait, that's right. I forgot. I have a journal.
Oh
So
yeah.
yes, I also have a pen. Have ink and an ink pen.
You just don't ask how ungulates use pens or
But well,
books.
Corvine does have the magic to do it.
Well, Corvine also has talons that could be used with as fingers.
Yes, but they are toes.
But yeah, so
It'd be a
um
little awkward.
so I presume then you're copying down the writing.
Yes,
All
I
right,
will copy it in the journal.
cool.
Thus, not needing to use my terrible intelligence score.
All right, you have you've copied the writing decently well. I won't have you roll for that. And now that you have managed, now that you've done that, what next?
Let's see what next. What have I not tried yet?
That is a good question.
Can I make a history check? Or no, that probably wouldn't work because it's a secret base.
Well, I mean, what would you want to know with it? What's the goal?
But the goal is to know. I'm just kind of trying to figure out clues because I don't have any.
Gotcha. Um, give me an insight check.
Okay.
Okay. After examining this place thoroughly, looking up and down and seeing everything that's going on with it, something dawns on you. This chamber hasn't been used yet. It's been prepared.
Let's see. Then I'm going to head upstairs and start looking through as many of those questionable crates as possible.
All right. The other crates contain various items of dubious origin. This one appears to be more foodstuffs that have you might not want to eat. This one over
I
here.
mean, I wouldn't want to eat anyway.
This is true. This is true. Another one contains. It appears to be a shipment of ore of some variety.
Oh, actually, though, so those rotten foodstuffs probably smell, right?
They're not the prettiest smell, no.
Perfume.
Hmm?
Perfume. I
Okay.
spray some perfume.
All right. Psst, psst. Ah, that's a little better. I'll mask the smell for a little while. And you do find a crate that is full of ropes and chains.
Ah, I replace my chain.
Well then, fresh chain yet.
Hmm.
And
Uh,
beyond that, any other crates don't have much of interest. They're either empty or near empty.
okay, I'll take the rest of the chains and rope and hide them in the office.
All right. Give me a sleight of hoof check.
Okay, I believe that is.
Dexterity if you're not
Yeah.
proficient.
Okay, I don't do very well, but at least they're away from sight, so
Fair enough. You tuck them.
people will.
You tuck them under the table.
Yes, they'll at least have to walk into the office to notice them. And I figure that's good enough.
It might be. And as you're doing that, you hear from outside many excited sounds from the harbor. Apparently, there's a ship coming in, and judging from the general din, there's some excitement around said ship.
Okay, do I still have my stealth from before?
No.
Okay, fine. Then I'm gonna try to stealth through the crowds to see who's on that ship without being spotted.
Fair enough. All right. And the crowd is mostly dock workers who are busy chatting with themselves and whatever have you. The ship that pulls in is extraordinarily familiar. In fact, that's the exact same ship that you and your friends commissioned when you went north, pulling into harbor. And after several minutes of dark workers, scrambling around and doing what they do, uh, Oystein himself emerges from up onto the deck and begins heading down the gangplank down towards the dock.
You know what? I'm going to confront him. Not with a blade, but yes.
All right. He starts walking away from the ship and towards the city as you step towards the crowd, and he stops a minute, looks down at you. Oh. Hello, Miss Winterblood.
Hello. Have you seen True Heart?
No hard feelings about the other day, right?
We're not going to make a scene about it.
Good. I'm afraid I'm a very busy individual. I have much to do.
But that's only if you give me back my father.
He looks at you. So he takes a breath. What did you find in those ruins?
Which ones?
Don't play coy with me, Miss Winterblood.
Oh, I might be more amiable if you tell me where my father is.
He grins slightly. He's in the basement of my estate, currently inside of a cell. Why do you ask?
Ah, her eyes start glowing.
I wouldn't recommend that, Miss Winterblood.
I wouldn't recommend leaving your pits wide open to be sabotaged.
He narrows his eyes a bit. and then glances up at the warehouse you just came from. What did you find in those ruins, Miss Winterblood?
What did I find? Not what I was looking for.
I wasn't referring to those, he signals towards the warehouse. I was referring to those, he says, signaling up north.
I found nothing important to me. If you want to know, you're going to return my father.
A sly grin, a half smile appears on his mouth. Spoken like a true noble of Rain. It appears your absence has done little to affect your education in the matters of evasion. Well,
I'm a quick study.
so it seems. And it also seems you are bound and determined to interfere yourself with my business.
No, I just want my father.
Says the woman who just sabotaged one of my, how did you put it, pits? Who won't tell me what she found up north. And I know there was something there. You can't hide that from me.
You don't tend to treat enemies as if they're allies.
I am not a wise enemy to make, Miss Winterblood. There are things
I'm
in
not
events.
I'm not the one who chose it. You were.
He shakes his head. There are events that are unfolding that are far beyond the scope of either of us to truly grasp.
That's not what I care about. Give me my father.
He's being held on charges of treason.
If he were being held on charges of treason, it would have been known.
Well, there's no need to publish the fact that there are nobility committing crimes against the city of an broad and wide, now is there? Besides, his exact guilt is currently being ascertained. No reason to make known what is not fully assured right now. Unlike you, I am not exactly keen on gossip and slander.
You think that I care?
Well, you said
I know
yourself.
what you are.
I am many things, Miss Winterblood. He sort of glances around. There's a few dock workers who are staring. He gives them a bit of a glare, and they sort of scamper off.
No, stay. I'm on a roll.
All right, go for it.
Persuasion.
He looks down. Are you saying you wouldn't prefer privacy?
With the last time things were private? No.
I'll have you know, Miss Winterblood, you drew first. I had no intention of causing any harm to you or your friends. Just as right now, I assure you there's absolutely nothing personal with whatever is unfolding. You just seem to be stuffing yourself into matters that don't sorry for my stumbling, that don't seem to affect you or involve you.
I'm fairly sure they do affect me.
Well, I will admit that I misspoke there. The events affect all of us. Or they will eventually.
But I don't think you understand. Give me back my father.
And what is the promise of this threat?
What is the promise?
Mm-hmm.
You said yourself. You want to know. Surely you know that I am a doe of her honor. I will tell you.
I'm afraid, Miss Winterblood, that the information you have just isn't worth the trade. Besides, as I said, he's being held on charges of treason. I couldn't give you him even if I wanted to. You can give me an insight on that, by the way.
I don't think I need to because that is clearly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it anyway just because it's a nat one. Of course it is.
We'll just pretend that didn't happen because the dice have not been kind. But,
Look, he's being held for treason by your house. You very well can do something about it.
While we nobles, while we the ruling nobles of Rain may be the lawmakers, we are bound by its laws, you see, and we can't just do what we want.
Isn't that what you told yourself after you executed a duke?
He looks down at her and leans in close. These affairs do not affect you, Miss Winterblood.
No, but this one does.
Become involved.
I'm trying to not.
Is that so? Well, if your father is found innocent, then we'll be more than happy to release him. We'll even send an apology and a gift basket to your house, hoping to make some amends and wishing for no ill feelings. Don't let it be said the Grey Skies were unkind hosts.
Oh, right. Unkind hosts.
He nods.
Look. If he doesn't get returned, then you should say goodbye to the rest of your operations. For you'll have made the Winterbloods your enemy.
I can't say I've had too many individuals such as yourself levy such threats towards me in my lifetime. I find it fascinating. A little thrilling, truth be told. Well, if you'll excuse me, Miss Winterblood, I have business I must attend to. And should your father be declared innocent, I shall send you first word.
I don't think you understand. You better make sure of it.
If he's innocent, he shall be free as a bird.
Is that some kind of joke?
Raises an eyebrow. No, why would it be?
Never mind.
Very well. He takes a few steps forward and stops and turns around and looks at you dangerously. And if you dare set foot into another one of those altars, I will personally see to the ruin of your house. He then turns around and
Well,
begins walking
she.
off.
Well, you better make sure that you don't cut off the head of that house.
Don't worry, I'm sure he's innocent. And with that, he strolls off.
She's gonna take the empty bottle of rain frost that she's been keeping and throw it at the ship.
A nearby dock worker raises a hoof as if to say something or make a joke, stops and thinks better of it, and just gets back to work.
She goes and tries to find Tide.
All right. Finding him isn't too hard. He apparently he's currently talking to an ostrich merchant, because there aren't leather merchants. They don't exist. Leather isn't a thing in this world. Um, so the vegan leather, shall we say, the all natural the very vegetarian leather. There we go. It's currently speaking with a merchant who deals with it as well as makes the odd things or two. And upon seeing your approach, he sort of nods at you to say, "Hey, what's up?" As he continues talking to the merchant.
She doesn't look okay.
He sort of glances back. Just give me a second. Just give me a second, all right? The merchant nods. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. No problem, Tide. You all right? What happened?
She shakes her head.
Let's go back to the house. Actually, he walks over to the merchant. Hey, can we borrow your back room for just a minute? My niece over here is as you can see, she's not feeling too well, and she just needs to get out of the crowds for just a couple minutes. That's all. And your back room is nice and quiet. Merchant looks back for a second. Yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead. Thanks. Turns around. Come on.
She follows.
And you're led into essentially what it seems to be a sort of a workshop. Apparently, this is where the merchant plies his trade and makes this, that, and the other. And as you walk in, he's like, "Do you want me to close the door for you guys?"
Yes.
All right. Just I don't mean to be rude, but don't stay in there for too long. I'll probably have to go in there at some point. And he shuts the door. Tide turns towards her. What happened?
I didn't find him, but I was told where he is now.
Where is he?
Back at the Gray Sky Estate.
He utters an oath. Of course he's there. How'd you find out?
Oystein told me directly.
Wait, you ran into Oystein?
She nods.
By the prophet, are you alright? He didn't hurt you, did he?
He couldn't. We engaged publicly.
That was probably a good idea, actually. Well, what do you say? What do you do?
Essentially, they're holding True Heart under false assertions of treason.
Treason? True Heart? Are you serious?
She nods.
That's a trumped up charge if I've ever heard one.
Yes, but if nobody finds out, then he's essentially holding him hostage.
What does he want? Does he want anything?
He wants to stop me from entering those ruins. He has operations with the cultists I mentioned earlier.
But why? What is he doing?
I don't know. Trying to take over the world? I guess?
Seems a little ridiculous.
Very.
But then again, everything you've told me so far is pretty ridiculous, so I guess at this point it's just as possible. That's not to say I don't believe you, Corvine. It's just with the scale of what you're talking about, who knows? Maybe that is his plan somehow.
I don't know what to do.
We gotta get him out. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
can think of is we gotta break him out somehow. But if he's in the Gray Sky Estate, I don't know how we're gonna do that.
I
I mean,
I think I know
do you have any friends you could call on?
I know someone who would be good at that sort of operation.
Who?
Her name is Sai.
Say, huh? Hmm. I can't say. I don't think I've heard of her. Let's see if he
She
has.
she probably isn't well known. I said she was good for this.
No, I recognize the name. She. Isn't she a vigilante or something like that?
Vigilante.
That's what I've heard. Apparently, from from what I've been told, apparently she doesn't always get along with the city guard. I don't know a lot about her. This is just some rumors I've heard.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, she doesn't usually work for free.
I see.
So she's more like a mercenary.
Gotcha. Well, I suppose we can dip into the family coffers to pay for her. This is an emergency.
She nods.
Do you trust her?
Well,
Do you trust that she can get the job done?
yes. Also, she hasn't killed me yet, so I think I can trust her.
I'm sorry. I just that seems it seems a bit of a flimsy base to trust someone on, but I guess
She knows what I am, and she hasn't killed me yet, despite originally threatening to do so.
Oh,
She's had bad experiences, from what I can tell.
oh. Okay then. Well, if you trust her, then I suppose I'll have to take your word for it.
This,
Do you know where she is now?
not right now. She'll probably be with the other friends. She tends to show up when she's needed.
So essentially, we'll just have to wait until she shows up, basically.
I mean, as long as we're careful, we might be able to do something else to help as well.
What do you have in mind?
Drumming up the rumor that the Gray Skies are holding True Heart for ulterior motives under the guise of a treason.
Hmm.
If we can get enough support against with this without it going back to them, then maybe we can get support when we actually infiltrate. Get a distraction.
Gotcha. While they're too busy trying to defend their honor, you guys sneak in there and grab them.
She nods.
That sounds like a plan. Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to some friends. I'll talk to your aunt. See what we can do.
Stay safe.
Thanks. Whose cross this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Corvine.
Yes,
Come here. Give your uncle a hug.
she does.
Take care, all right?
All right.
And for the love of rain, please don't let anyone else find out about your secret.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Didn't mean for it to get this way, sir.
that's all right. I mean, there's no need to be ashamed of what you are, but as much as I hate to admit my sister's right, if the wrong people find out, it would cause some issues. So just be careful, all right?
She nods.
All right, gives her another hug. I love you, Corvine, all right? Please take care of yourself.
Love you too.
All right, now get going. I'll see what I can do about spreading the word then.
I will too.
All right, and we'll go ahead and call a session there then.